Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you may or may not be able to see, I'll just do this. We're at the end of week 23. St. Jude has happened, so let's do a little recap.
Going in! 3, 2, 1, go!
So I will tell you right now, right up front, that I got maybe about 30 seconds worth of video from the actual race, which I will talk about why here in a minute. But I did get some footage from Expo, and so I'll put that in here in a second. But not a terribly large Expo comparatively to something like a Run Disney race, but I especially liked it this year because I needed to get a new running vest, which I was able to get, and got a buff because you'll find out here in a minute when I talk about race conditions, and you know, just a couple other cute vendors. So here's some scenes from St. Jude, Memphis Marathon Weekend Expo. So going into this race, this was going to be my final Dopey simulation. So the morning, Thursday morning, which was the day we were driving down to Memphis, I woke up early, walked 5 miles on our tread, and we dropped off dogs and headed to Memphis. And then Friday morning, Expo didn't open till noon. So Friday morning, early, I got up and jogged, whatever. 12 miles, and I wanted to be done by 8 o'clock so that my body had a full 24 hours to recover, which I was able to accomplish. It was very boring. The little treadmill thing in the hotel, the buttons, I had to like really, lean into it whenever I was trying to like change speeds and stuff, which will come back to haunt me during the race. So did that, went to Expo. And I was getting a little worried about what the weather was saying. It was going to be cold, and I brought options for what I was gonna wear, but I ended up, like I said, buying a buff. I've never really used a buff, really. Like I have like this like fleece thing that I guess is kind of like a buff, but I've never really liked it. It had to be like really, really cold for me to wear this like thick fleece thing. So I got like what I guess is considered a normal buff, which is, much thinner piece of fabric. And I ended up keeping that. I never pulled it up over my face, but I kept it on the entirety of the race. It helped keep my neck warm, which was surprisingly comfortable. I absolutely loved, that never bothered me. I liked having it there. So I'm glad that I thought to, just last minute buy a buff. But anyway, before we get too much more into race day, I was able to get a little bit of footage from beginning of the race, start line, the crowds, and then just like I said, about 10 seconds of part of the course.
Three, two, run!
So yeah, one of the reasons, well, there's really two main reasons why I didn't record a whole lot. One, like I said, it was freezing. I had, I think I ended up losing my outer layer that I was wearing let's see, did that come off first? Yes, that came off at mile 1. I took that off. Maybe mile 4, I lost my gloves. And then a couple miles after that, I took my hat off. Now my hat was not a throwaway hat, so I ended up just, stuffing it somewhere for the rest of the race. But even with all those layers, there were certain moments, like if I was in the shade or the wind blew, I was like, hopefully getting rid of that coat wasn't a mistake because it was chilly. I'm not even sure if it really got into the 40s. I think maybe it was by the time I was finished. But of course even though I felt cold, parts of my body were still, sweating. So I got chilled when I was done. But it was an interesting experience. I've been telling people that I'm very proud of what I did, but I wouldn't necessarily say I had fun. I think that half marathon distance is definitely a distance that I would like to do more regularly, because when I got to where the course is split for the full and the half, I was like, man, I wish I could go that way. But as far as like injury wise, all of that, foot completely fine, which is fantastic. My knee started bothering me about 22 miles in. And even before that 22 miles, when I got to my 13-mile mark on my watch is when I started alternating my long run intervals and then my balloon lady walking more intervals. Because about that point, I was like, if I don't make my time goal, that's okay. I just want to finish. I want to know that I can do Dopey, like I mentioned before. And even, I was really able to keep the alternating. There's one overpass that I knew that was going to happen because it happens in the half and it's right before the finish. And of course, so for the marathon, that going up that big overpass that goes by the St. Jude Hospital is like mile 24 and we're all so tired. And I'm like, why? But we did it. And I am happy to say, now my watch was about half a mile ahead of the mile markers. So my watch was saying that my new marathon PR is about a 4-hour, 55-minute. But I was able to actually get a race clock time of 4 hours, 59 minutes. So I technically met my goal of under 5. There's the medal. And this thing is not light. So very, very proud. Like I said, not necessarily sure I had fun. I don't know if I'll ever run a marathon for time again. I totally love challenging myself with a longer distance, but I don't think I'll probably try to beat 4:59. It just, I would much rather go out and have a good time and enjoy. I told my sister this morning, I said, when we did the half, I was enjoying the community involvement. I was enjoying what was going on around me. This time, I wasn't. Oh, and I didn't mention why the treadmill thing was important. So because I was during that 12 miles, because I was having to really lean in and press those buttons, it made my back sore. So for the first 13 miles of the race, I could feel that my back was sore from having to jam on that button the day before. So, but that's all part of the, I guess the back-to-back long distances. But made my time goal. I am sore. They made me run at physical therapy this morning. So, yay, today is Monday, by the way. So we're getting close to it actually being about 48 hours out from the race. And I'm sore, but I am still able to function and I'm not completely miserable. So I'm very confident in my ability to finish Dopey, have a good time doing it. So that, that stress is off the table. And the fact that I was 1 minute under my goal, a little icing on the cake. So, and don't take any of this to say that you should not come and do St. Jude, because it is a fantastically run race. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they obviously have it down to a science. Race support is fantastic. Their guide said that they had water stops every mile and a half. They were definitely a lot more than that. There was plenty of water, and even the community comes out and will have little bottles of water, or, there is so much hey, have a shot. I don't partake, but a lot of people do, and there's plenty of that on the course if that is your race thing. The community loves to do that, and there's donut stops and lots of kids come out. Running through the hospital is always so much fun. So after the race, we went back to the hotel room. I did all the cleanup things, iced my knee. We were watching a little bit of the Georgia-Texas game, and I think I fell asleep. But one fun thing that we had reserved in advance, and I kind of wasn't sure if I was going to be able to enjoy it because I was really tired, but we signed up and got reservations on the Memphis riverboat dinner thing. And what was fun is there was actually 3 other people that 2 of them had run the 10K, 1 of them had run the marathon. I was surprised there wasn't more like people celebrating the race on the boat, but there wasn't. It was just me and this other little group, but it was a fun time. It was one of those like mass-produced food situations. It wasn't terrible. The music was the best, but here are some scenes from Riverboat. And I don't know if I would recommend it. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I don't know if the food was really worth it. The dessert was good, but it's an experience. It's something fun to do, fun way to celebrate. So here's Riverboat Cruise. Highly recommend St. Jude Marathon Weekend. They run a 5 and a 10 and a half and a full. They got all the distances, plenty of ways to participate. I think actually they have a challenge option where if you run the 5 or the 10 and the half or the full, you get like a little challenge medal. So maybe that'll be in my future one day. You know I love a good challenge. So that's week 23, final Dopey simulation for me. So now is the interesting part for me because I have about a month before Dopey. So I need to, heal up my body a little bit, but I don't want to relax too much. Got to keep the fitness up to still be able to complete Dopey and not lose that time on my feet. So I do have a plan for that, which we'll talk about in the coming weeks. But overall, happy it's over, pleased with how I did, and looking forward to relaxing just for a day or two, and then slowly working back into getting my running legs back. Although, like I said, they made me run for like half a mile of physical therapy this morning, and it didn't hurt quite as bad as I thought it would. So I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know if on the Galloway plan I don't think that this was a simulation week for anybody else, but I think last week was. So I hope that if you're still in the midst of getting those simulations done for Goofy or Dopey or for whatever you're training for, that it's going well and that it's giving you confidence. And I cannot believe that we're like a month out from Marathon Weekend. It is so exciting. So now it'll be, keeping up the confidence and watching that weather and hoping it's not too hot or too cold. We'll see. So give this video a like, leave me a comment. If you are doing these final simulations, are you signing up for a race like I did? Because if I'm running 26 miles, I'm earning a medal. And be sure to subscribe. This will be a time of recovery, so you'll be seeing a lot of recovery from me. And then we do have a fun idea to get one more long distance effort in to keep that time on my feet. So that'll be a few weeks from now. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece. I will see you next week, week 24. We will jump right back into Run the Mile You're In. You know that Emily has been with me for many a long run, so I told her that I was not going to wear my medal from this weekend until she gave it to me. So it's Monday now.
Which is so sweet, and I have done little to nothing in this journey. Amy is totally committed, and in fact I've never met anybody more committed. So it is an honor to give Amy this medal, 26.2 miles. Congratulations. I'm so proud of her. Yay.